demanded that the government launches an immediate inquiry into child exploitation in Britain, despite not doing that for 14 years in power. And this comes as Sir Keir Starmer is attacked over his handling of the Oldham grooming gang scandal when he was head of the Crown Prosecution Service.
Keir Starmer's leadership of the Labour Party is now under relentless scrutiny, with turbulence spreading both inside the party and beyond it. Once portrayed as a unifying figure, he has increasingly become the central source of Labour's instability, and the scale of the problem can no longer be ignored. In recent weeks, the party has been rocked by multiple mass council resignations, alongside resurfacing reports from Starmer's time at the Crown Prosecution Service that cast a damaging light on his tenure as Director of Public Prosecutions. The controversies are accumulating fast, fueling internal disorder and intensifying criticism at home and abroad. From collapsing local support to uncomfortable questions about his past record, Labour is facing simultaneous pressure on every front, with serious implications for Starmer's political future. While what comes next remains uncertain, one thing is clear: both Labour and its leader are heading into a prolonged period of political turbulence. In this video, we examine the forces driving what could become the abrupt end of Starmer's short premiership in one of Europe's oldest democracies. So stay with us until the end as we uncover details that have largely stayed out of public view until now.
5 years, if I'm right, and quite rightly too. I'm not complaining the slightest. But you looked at my record for 5 years with me as I was doing the job, facing your questions. You've got access to all of the material, so in a sense you can look at it. I've set out what I did. I actually changed the system because I could see some of the things that were going wrong. I wasn't prepared. Unlike some Tory politicians, I'm not tweeting about it or talking about it. I got on with changing it. In relation to the serious point you do make, because this is the victims here suffered terrible abuse, unthinkable, unspeakable, genuinely sickening abuse, and then they weren't listened to. That has to be taken seriously. We have to do everything we possibly can to make sure that never happens again. That's why I made the changes I did within criminal justice. Among the reasons I came into politics was because I felt that it couldn't all be done.
We begin with the wave of mass council resignations that has shaken Labour at its core, as around 20 members of the Broxtowe Borough Council Labour group, including leader Milan Radelovic, walked away while accusing Starmer of abandoning fundamental Labour principles. They cited issues ranging from means-testing winter fuel payments and the handling of WASPy women's pension changes to Labour's stance on the Gaza conflict, stating they could no longer remain in a party that had, in their view, discarded its traditional values under Starmer's leadership. Their statement condemned policies such as cutting winter fuel support for millions of pensioners, maintaining the two-child benefit cap, rising bus fares, failing pension campaigners, and delivering what they described as a weak response to events in Gaza, arguing this was not the party they once campaigned for or were promised. The councillors, now forming the Broxtowe Independents, also revealed that a county councillor and around 100 members were leaving to challenge elite control and return local democracy and services to local communities, representing more than 2 centuries of combined Labour membership. These exits were not impulsive but a calculated response to what they see as a sharp break from Labour's historic identity, and the impact is immediate, with Labour losing overall control of Broxtowe Borough Council just a year after gaining it. More importantly, this is not an isolated revolt, as similar frustration is spreading nationwide, pointing to a deeper identity crisis within the party. When lifelong members walk away, the warning signs are unmistakable, a sentiment captured by Councillor Ross Baffinger, who shared an image of his cut-up Labour membership card with the message that the party has grown increasingly detached from ordinary people.
Hey, with the grooming gang. No, he was. Let me finish. No, he was.
No,
I can
debunk exactly what you're saying.
She is saying, which I think is right.
He didn't do any good work.
She is saying
he didn't prosecute a single person.
She is saying let's act on what the other inquiries have done. None of the 20 recommendations have been put.
We haven't had a grooming gang inquiry.
And
we haven't had an inquiry into the grooming gang.
Elon Musk has shone a light.
You're peddling it as Starmer would say.
Another clear sign is that Labour's crisis is no longer local but national. And with public support already slipping due to Starmer's misjudgments, the situation is rapidly deteriorating. The most damaging controversy yet has emerged from a long chain of scandals following Labour's return to power, centred not on the incident itself, but on how Starmer and his allies chose to respond to it. The government's refusal to establish a full independent inquiry into a major historical abuse case has triggered fierce backlash, especially as multiple reports exposed serious failures by local authorities and law enforcement during the same period Starmer led the Crown Prosecution Service. Those findings described widespread, systemic wrongdoing, marked by delays, dropped cases, and institutional paralysis, raising uncomfortable questions about accountability. These new disclosures have reignited demands for a formal investigation, led by senior opposition figures including Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch and Reform UK's Nigel Farage, reinforcing the view that Labour's troubles are structural, not isolated, and that Starmer's record is now under unavoidable national scrutiny.
Later today, he will tell Labour MPs, including in Telford, Rochdale, Bristol, Derby, Aylesbury, Oldham, Bradford, Peterborough, Coventry, Middlesbrough, Newcastle, Ramsgate, to tell all of these people to vote against a national inquiry into the gangs which have systematically gang-raped children in their constituencies. This is one of the worst scandals in British history, Mr. Speaker. How...
Sorry? This is a very, very important issue that does matter to the country. It matters to all our constituents. I want to make sure they can hear what's being said by the Leader of the Opposition and the Prime.
While these controversies have clearly contributed to Labour's weak performance in post-election polling, the party's problems run far deeper. Internal divisions are becoming impossible to ignore, driven by growing frustration over Starmer's lack of clear leadership and repeated misjudgments. After winning power in a landslide, the promised transformation has failed to materialise, and instead of improvement, many argue conditions have deteriorated. The sense of disappointment inside the party is fueling unrest, with members increasingly questioning whether this leadership is capable of delivering the change voters were assured.
There is a budget coming in October, and it's going to be painful. We have no other choice, given the situation that we're in. Those with the broadest shoulders should bear the heavier burden, and that's why we're cracking down on non-doms. Those who made the mess should have to do their bit to clean it up, and that's why we're strengthening the powers of the water regulator.
The economy, already weakened by years of underinvestment and political turmoil, has continued to slide under Starmer's leadership, with inflation climbing and the cost of living crisis deepening. Yet instead of delivering decisive action, Starmer and his ministers have largely confined themselves to explaining how difficult the situation is, offering rhetoric where results were promised and frustration where solutions were expected.